Yesterday, SleepAfloat, I stayed my first night, and I am beyond excited to finally be on a houseboat. SleepAfloat.com, Mike set it up.
Okay.
Week before last, had the gentleman on that joined us about when you come to stay in town. Why do you go to a hotel? Why do you stay at some weird hostel somewhere with a bunch of weird, smelly, crust punk kids with their dog that's always hungry? Mm-hmm. Stay on a houseboat.
And you're by yourself?
By myself.
Oh, okay.
That's
like
amazing. See, here's the thing. I got this started when Josh was doing story after story after story. Home invasion. Woman beaten over the head with brick for no good reason. Toddler torn in half by Bengal tiger in Patterson Park. That last one might not be true. And I'm like, why? I need to find a way to stay in the city that I love, but to also take care of my personal safety. All right, it's like self-preservation, and that's when my eyes turn towards the sea.
That's not too much to ask.
That's not a bad thing. Who's going to be doing home invasions on a houseboat?
Not to mention, let's say there's some sort of catastrophic nuclear attack or whatever. You can just sail your ass right out of the harbor.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse.
100%. Those things don't swim, they sink. Mm-hmm. All right? You think anybody's going to go ahead in the Black Gorilla family, throw on some scuba gear, swim out to my boat to steal that plasma, and then swim back? Heads up, Holmes. Those TVs don't do well in water.
Is there a mini bar on this?
There is.
Oh, yes.
This thing has a backyard.
What?
It has a front yard. It's got a picket fence. It's got a roof. It's got a grill. It's got a master bedroom. It's got a loft.
A wife that hates you?
It's got a wife that hates me. It's got a dog that goes to the bathroom on the ground. It's got a kid that ignores any and all authoritarianism that I have. It is awesome. It is, Mike, I cannot tell you how dope it is. Couldn't get away from the social media. That's the only thing I got to do is just throw my effing phone in the water. Because even when you're slightly
do you have
out to sea,
Wi-Fi, or are you just on your phone?
You got Wi-Fi.
Okay.
You got DirecTV. They got a satellite dish up there. You also have neighbors, which I didn't really think about.
Yeah, that's one X factor I hadn't thought about either. The community you have there. I would imagine you'd be closer with the houseboat neighbor than with your typical neighbor across the street, right?
Well, I think you're very close.
So
as
you're
far
all
as
on
proximity.
decks in like a townhouse.
Yeah,
situation
exactly. I mean,
where
basically, you only have something the width of a sidewalk to separate you, just that creakety old dock. And but it occurred to me also that the people that are into it for the same reason I am, I want to get away from the grid. I want to get away from people. I want to be left alone. They're kind of that similar mindset for the most part. So
are
while
people
you're close
out
together,
socializing? Are they out hanging out, having a few drinks?
there was
Is
one
there
party
music?
boat at the end of the dock. There was a whole boat full of Chets and Rebeccas. A lot of Chets, a lot of Rebeccas on this one boat. A lot of Becky! All goddamn night.
All night.
All night.
How do you get any sleep?
Becky! Oh, I had a home security system with me. That's right.
No more
Becky is
Becky.
now in Davy Jones's locker. Poor Becky was never heard from again as she floats to the bottom of the harbor. Good luck swimming to the surface with holes in your chest. And the place is awesome. SleepAfloat.com. I'm on the Delphinus, which I believe is Latin for dolphin penis.
Did you get any? Did the boat rock at all at night?
Yes,
Was that
it
an
did.
issue?
It did.
In a nice way.
In a good way, because here's the thing. I'm picking up on the wakes from the big shipping vessels that come in, the big Chinese shipping vessels that'll come in, and they'll leave a pretty big wake, but by the time it gets to me and kind of softens up some,
it's nice.
It's just a dull kind of rocking. Oh, it is
a hypnotic,
soothing. Yeah. I mean, it's
sensual.
It's incredibly nice.
Sexy.
When you're Livewire exclusive. When you're doing this.
Oh, I bet.
When you're doing this here, that's fun. All right, because you're just, this is great. It's like a waterbed, but not quite as white trashy with the blacklight poster of the tiger coming out of the tall grass.
It's not quite that trashy.
Not quite as white trashy as a waterbed. It's just the whole thing is a waterbed. And it's interesting, too, is that I didn't realize this. I thought all houseboats were pilotable. This thing isn't. It's got no cabin area. It's got no propeller, no engine, no nothing.
So you can't get drunk and take it for a spin.
Exactly.
Which is good.
Yeah, you have no idea. Because I brought a bottle of Great King Street and had that thing. I've had a wheel and a throttle. I'm like, we're going to Barbados.
How is the traffic on the water? Did you hear any moving?
You know what? I did hear one in the middle of the night, but just one.
That was Becky snoring.
That was Becky! We're doing Jell-O shots! Oh, God, I hope she fell over into the water.
A kitchen? You got food?
Dude, I got a kitchen. I've got a nice little stove. You have a shower that's good for about 19, 20 gallons, heats up quick. So you got to kind of get in, get out. You can't really sit in there and marinate. But you have a loft. I could sleep comfortably 5 to 6 people in there, no problem. No problem. And the guy, Donovan, who I met out there, Donovan, shout out, sweet breath, good hugs, said, if you got to move this thing, you just basically have a tote, like a barge. Like a barge just will come up, grab a hold of it, and just pull it out wherever you need to go.
Now, is there neighboring, I don't know exactly what this is, like bars and nightlife? I mean, could you spend a weekend?
I could spend weeks. You know what I did when
But as an out of towner, could you do the Baltimore sites and then stay the night?
100%. First thing I did after getting set up, Wi-Fi set up, made sure that the electricity was on, made sure that the grill was fired up if I wanted to cook. I walk out the front of the dock. I don't say exactly where I'm at because of weirdos, but I hang a left onto Alisana, and I'm right there in the Fells. I'm heart of Fells Point.
This sounds better than any hotel.
It's amazing. I went to Dog Watch. I saw Marka last night from Dog Watch. She's in coolest bar ever, 90online.com. I wander in. I have some half and half. I'm wandering around Fells, and I'm walking back to my houseboat in 3 minutes. I mean, you're near everything.
And a female, a lady would like this if you're trying to impress your girl?
2 guys are sitting at the bar. They're spitting game at a young filly. They're saying, hey, you want to come join me back at the Doubletree? There's a wedding. I'm going to show a bunch of people my date. Or, I got a boat. What are you going to?
Deal closer.
That's a deal closer, baby. Boats drop panties.
Boom.
Boom. Boats are getting girls nude. Yeah, it's super nice.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of downsides. The only thing I could potentially think of is maybe the smell of like a fish kill. Was there any smell?
I like that smell.
Yeah, he enjoys the smell of rotten grouper.
Right.
Okay, it reminds him of a few people we used to do stand-up with.
And date.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, it's the harbor, so if you slide open that glass door where there's a grill on the backside of it, and it's of no fault of SleepAfloat's, but yeah, it's that kind of the edge of the harbor where some of the garbage gathers. So like a hot day, you could probably get a good waft coming off of it.
Yeah, and I mean, those fish, a couple times a year we'll get that awful fish kill that'll like permeate Fed Hill and wherever. But
that's going to be like that anywhere. I mean, if you're hanging out.
But like I said, that's going to be anywhere. So
yeah, it affirms what I want to do with living on a houseboat at some point. My worry was, anybody here ever watch Rescue Me?
Yeah.
Dennis Leary?
Yeah.
I can't remember his friend, but there was an episode on Rescue Me about the firefighters where one of his buddies on the show, the big fat guy with the mustache, his dream was to live on a boat for like 4 seasons, and he finally buys the boat, sight unseen, gets down there and literally sets 1 foot on the dock and is like, whoa, and he realizes he can't be on water without getting violently ill.
You want to test drive that thing.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and try it before you buy it type thing. Cons, my Transformers collection would have to go. Because that thing rocks back and forth. And right now, in a stationary house in Dundalk, I have a lot of figures precariously balanced.
Well, you could maybe screw them to the shelf or
I
something.
will fight you with every limb attached to my body.
If they're rocking, they might just turn in. They might transform on their own.
There's a good chance. Little Decepticons scurrying around. The cats might not like it. My cat doesn't like any kind of motion. All right, so we're going to have to teach cats to swim.
Justin, you're going to die alone, so this is perfect.
Yeah, that's about right.